Hi, Theresa from Theresa Holistic Tarot with you today. And today I'd like to discuss cord cutting with you. So, what are cords? So, we are energetic beings. We give off a vibration and we go through life meeting other vibrational beings, i.e., other people, and sometimes places and events also carry their own energy vibration. So, we can form cords with other people. Now, these people don't necessarily have to be romantic relationships. They can be work colleagues, they can be family members, they can be neighbors, whatever. And sometimes you know yourself when you really just click with somebody, that's you forming that energetic cord, or somebody you just don't like straight off, another energy cord. But sometimes we are left with cords which can actually impact us in the here and now. Now, how would you know if you have some energy cords that would need to be cut or removed? The main one is, or some of the main giveaways are, you can't stop thinking about somebody. Now, you may have finished a relationship in the past, it may have been years ago, but they're still in your mind. You find yourself keep drifting back. My thoughts, just keep going there. So there can be energetic cords there. Also, if I have been guilty of this in the past, when I have those mind arguments, in my mind, I'm thinking what I would be saying to them, and I'd be imagining their response and what I would. So unfinished business to a certain degree, but energetic cords. You may dream about people and find that you're still, and it can upset you, stay with you during the day, but they're there in your subconscious energy cords. Another big one for me is forgiveness. We may be so angry or bitter, resentful that we cannot forgive. That's a huge energy cord. Others can be just a basic draining of your energy. You just can't understand why am I feeling like this? I've just got no energy, especially when I'm around some people, because they can trigger emotional responses, but energy cords, even with somebody else, can still be active and trigger you in the moment. So if you suspect for a second that you have energy cords that need cutting, then there are many simple exercises you can do. Now, the main thing you've got to take on board is this is energy and you're protecting your energy. Some of these principles you can do every single night just for good practice, because you've been out in the world during the day, you're bumping into people at bus stops or train stations, and you go to work, you may meet people that lift your energy, some that drain you, that real energy vampires. So you can really cut the cords that are beginning to form every single solitary day. But when they've never been cut or removed, then you may have lots of existing cords that would benefit you energetically to have those taken away. Now, bear in mind that all of these principles are very safe. We're not going into the past. All we're doing is protecting our energy. We may look at the cause of it or the root of it, or where I think that those, or how those cords came into being, but you can't do anybody any harm. You can't change the past, you can't change anything. All you can do is clean your energy. So there are several ways of doing this. First and foremost, I would suggest to you, take the decision. Decisions are powerful, your thoughts are powerful. Take the decision, I need to let this energy go. I need to cut this cord. And that is stating your intention. Just actually beginning to think about it and say to yourself or saying to somebody else, I want to cut this energy cord. And it's very beneficial when you know yourself that it has been from a relationship in the past, because you may be ready for a relationship now, and there you are all tangled up with lots of energy cords. And if you can imagine that those cords being like an umbilical cord, so you can have lots of them even to the same person. You can leave the good ones, the ones which were supportive or helpful or good memories, and you can sever the rest, which can keep dragging you back. So ways of doing this, state your intention, make up your mind, and let's begin. Now, there are loads and loads of free resources on YouTube. There are cutting cords videos, guided meditations. There's a bit of thought going on at the moment, I can see online, about actual cord cutting. They're saying don't cut the cords. Imagine removing them by the root, because if you don't remove them by the root, they can grow back. There may be something in that, but I learned to call on Archangel Michael and Archangel Michael to help me cut the cords. So I had to imagine Archangel Michael using his sword to cut all these cords. So it worked for me, and has been my sort of go-to. I've adjusted it slightly over the years, but I still practice it now. And strangely enough, just as I was doing this exercise, I made a couple of little notes, because I'm famous for going off on a tangent once I start talking. Some of you that may have had readings with me would know this, but you know, I can talk for Scotland. So you'll get your reading, but you'll get lots of bits in there, you know, that might be quite unexpected. So back to the cord cutting. How do we do it? Guided meditations. So choose a voice that resonates with you. There are thousands of them. And choose a time, because you might think, I don't want to do an hour, but 15 minutes is fine. Fine, no problem. Find a video, a guided meditation whose voice that resonates with you, and you can start from tonight, basically. Another way of doing it is more of a ritual. And some people feel comfortable in a ritual because they feel that the doing is more than just thinking the intention, stating the intention. It's actually participating. They feel as if they're taking an active part, which is good for them. So the ritual itself can be, okay, I want to sever the energy cords between myself and John. Okay, how do I do that? I would advocate in this instance just writing down what parts of what's still currently between you and John is that you don't like. I don't like to keep thinking about him all the time. I feel he takes over my thoughts. I feel he's still in my life. So write it all down. Just fold it and put it aside. You can light a white candle. You can light any candle, but white is significant of purity and cleansing, and this is a cleansing process, so that can be part of the ritual. So light the candle, sit quietly. You can call on your belief system. You can call on your spirit guide, your spirit team, your guardian angel, archangels, Archangel Michael for protection, and you imagine them being with you, and you imagine the connection between you and, say, John. You imagine where the cords are. Just let your imagination run riot. There's no right or wrong in this, and it can be from the arm, the shoulder, the chest, the heart, whatever. I'm just remembering I've got one from my ear sometimes because I used to feel they used to go on and on and on and on. I mean, it was a pleasure to actually cut that cord from the ear because I didn't want to listen to it anymore. So you imagine the cord and you imagine you severing them and giving them over to Archangel Michael, because for him to take back to the universe, and he will energetically get rid of or put the energy back into something else, change it into something else, and allow it to go back freely, cleanly, like that. So you can do something like that, a more ritual experience of it. But I really find the guided meditations, if you can find somebody whose voice that you really like the sound of, that are calm, that, you know, speak nicely and slowly, and you feel at ease and comfortable with, they just talk you through the whole process. They help calm you down. They help control your breathing, because you'll breathe along with them at the same time. So that, and all of it is bringing you down, calm. And then they'll say, okay, think about the person that you wish to cut the energy cords to. If it's a person, sometimes it's an event. Sometimes it can be an event that's happened in the past to somebody, even if they were very little, but it's left an impact, may have traumatized them, and they just feel, I need to somehow process this and let it go. I hate thinking about it. I need to let it go. Sometimes it can be a place where strong memories lurk, sometimes it can be, for example, in the here and now. I often urge clients who I believe have unrelenting standards. So unrelenting standards is when, as soon as they've achieved one goal, they move on to the next goal because they've achieved that. They need to have a goal. They're basically working about working through their own self-esteem issues, but it's actually, so I would suggest to them, cut the ties with that need that drives you constantly onto that next goal. Unless, of course, they wish to be driven and they see it as a positive and they see it as a driver, which helps support them in their everyday life, that's fine. But if they see it as, this is so wearing, as soon as I've just finished university and now I'm going to do a master's, then I want to do a PhD because I feel driven. I just feel I can't have any time off. I feel that I constantly have to achieve, and what comes after I get the PhD, I don't know where I'm going to. Anyway, so on and so forth. So you can do this with guilt, you can do it with shame, you can do it with unrelenting standards, you can, so just listen to the voice, listen to the guided, how they're guiding you, imagine it, engage with it, and they will then calm you back down again. And some of them you can even fall asleep in, which is quite nice. I like those. And that's it, done. Job done. It's not a one size fits all, one-off process. It doesn't just miraculously happen overnight. It can take once a week for weeks, maybe a couple of months, but it's worth doing. And if, as I say, find a voice that resonates with you. You can do them for 15 minutes, you can do them for 20, you can fall asleep to them doing an hour or more, entirely up to you. But this is really your intent, your decision, you choosing to let something go that no longer benefits you or serves you well. For me, it's a no-brainer. So I look forward to hearing from you. If you have any questions, then just contact me. I'll be more than happy to answer, help if I can. And good luck with it. Let me know how you get on. And please, if you're enjoying these little videos, will you please like and subscribe and maybe possibly share? Because I am trying to reach more people. But thanks for listening, and I'll see you again. Bye-bye for now.